My name is David. I'm 72 years old, and there's someone who probably doesn't think about me anymore. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I made sure I wouldn't know. I disappeared from their life. Not slowly, not with an argument or a reason they could point to. I just stopped being there. It's been 23 years. I'm not here to explain it away or make it sound noble. I'm here because I'm getting older, and certain things don't let you go. This is one of them. His name was Michael. We met when I was in my early 20s. Same apartment building, different floors. We'd pass each other in the stairwell, nod, keep moving. Then one night, the power went out in the whole building, and we ended up sitting in the hallway with a few other people, waiting for it to come back on. He told a story that made everyone laugh. I don't even remember what it was about, but I remember thinking, this person is easy to be around. After that, we just became friends. The kind where you don't plan it. It just happens. We'd get coffee on Saturday mornings. We'd show up at each other's apartments unannounced. We'd argue about movies, about music, about nothing that mattered. He had this way of listening where you felt like he actually heard you. Not a lot of people do that. For years, he was the person I called when something went wrong, or when something went right. He was just there. I got married when I was 31. Her name was Angela. Michael was the best man at the wedding. He gave a speech that made people cry. He said something about how I was the most stubborn person he knew, and that Angela must be a saint. Everyone laughed. He wasn't wrong. Angela liked Michael. She'd invite him over for dinner. She'd ask about his life. She never made me feel like I had to choose between them. That wasn't the problem. The problem was me. I don't know when it started. Maybe it was always there. But somewhere along the way, I started feeling uncomfortable. Not with Michael. With myself. With how much I needed him. With how much easier it was to talk to him than to my own wife sometimes. I noticed small things. How he'd remember details I'd mentioned weeks ago. How he'd check in if I seemed off. How I'd feel lighter after spending time with him. And I started thinking, this isn't normal. This feels like too much. What does it mean that I look forward to seeing him more than I should? I never said any of this out loud. Not to Angela. Not to anyone. But it lived in my head. And it got louder. I started pulling back. Not all at once. Just little things. I'd say I was busy when he'd suggest getting together. I'd keep conversations shorter. I'd stop calling first. He noticed. Of course he noticed. He asked me once if everything was okay. We were sitting in his car after a movie. He turned to me and said, "You've been distant. Did I do something?" I said no. I said work was just stressful. I said I'd been tired. He nodded. He didn't push. That was the kind of person he was. I should have told him the truth. I should have said, I'm scared of how much I care about you. I'm scared of what that says about me. I'm scared I don't know how to have this in my life and still be who I think I'm supposed to be. But I didn't say any of that. I just kept pulling away. The last time I saw him, we were 49 years old. We'd stayed in touch, but barely. A phone call every few months. A quick coffee once a year, maybe. The ease was gone. We both felt it. That day, we met at the same coffee shop we used to go to. He looked older, tired. He'd gone through a divorce the year before. I knew that, but only because a mutual friend had told me. I hadn't called him when it happened. I hadn't checked in. I told myself it wasn't my place anymore. We sat there for an hour, talking about nothing important. And when we left, we said we'd do it again soon. We both knew we wouldn't. I walked to my car. I sat there for a few minutes, watching him walk away. And I thought, this is it. This is the moment. If I don't say something now, I never will. But I didn't. I started the car. I drove home, and I never reached out again. He tried for a while. He'd call and leave messages. He'd send a text on my birthday. He'd reach out around the holidays. I'd respond sometimes. Short answers. Polite. Distant. Eventually, he stopped trying. And that was the part I'd wanted, wasn't it? The part where it just ended quietly. Where I didn't have to explain or defend or face whatever I was running from. I got what I wanted. I've thought about him more in the last few years than I did in the decade after I stopped talking to him. I think about the version of me he knew. The one who laughed easier. Who didn't weigh every word. Who let someone in without treating it like a threat. I think about the fact that he probably doesn't know why I left. That he might have spent years wondering what he did wrong. And the answer is nothing. He did nothing wrong. I was the problem. Not because I cared about him, but because I couldn't let myself. Angela passed away 4 years ago. It was sudden. A stroke. She was gone before I even understood what was happening. And in the weeks after, I kept thinking about who I wanted to call, who I wanted to sit with me in that silence, the way Michael used to. But he was gone too. Not dead, just gone from my life. By my own hand. I looked him up once. Found him on social media. He's remarried. Has grandchildren. He looks happy. I'm glad. I really am. But I also know I'll never reach out. Too much time has passed. I wouldn't even know what to say. I don't think he thinks about me anymore. And maybe that's for the best. But I think about him. About the friendship I had and didn't know how to keep. About the person I was when I was with him, and the person I became when I decided I couldn't be that anymore. I disappeared because I was afraid. Afraid of needing someone too much. Afraid of being seen too clearly. Afraid of what it meant that he understood me better than almost anyone. And what I understand now, too late to do anything about it, is that I didn't protect myself by leaving. I just made myself smaller. I spent the last 23 years convincing myself it was the right choice. That I was protecting my marriage, my sense of who I was, my life. But the truth is simpler than that. I was scared of love that didn't fit into a box I understood. So I walked away from it. And I've been walking away from parts of myself ever since. I don't know if he'd forgive me. I don't know if he'd even want to hear from me. But if I could sit across from him one more time, I'd tell him this. He didn't do anything wrong. I did. And I'm sorry I let fear decide for me. I am sorry disappeared. If you stayed with me this long, thank you. Maybe you've walked away from someone too. Maybe you're still carrying it. I don't have an answer for you. I just know what it feels like to reach the end of something and realize you left too soon. If there's someone you're thinking of right now, I don't know. Maybe it's not too late for you. I hope it's not.